am Dr. Melissa Kerr, an integrative physical therapist, experienced yoga instructor, and Tai Chi and Qigong instructor. Today we're going to talk about Qigong and how we can use that as a form of internal self-healing and self-practice, and then consider the application to assisting others on their journey like we might do in a healthcare profession. So Qigong, spelled Qigong, Qi can be spelled Qichi or Ki, depending on its country of origin. But Qi means energy, and Gong means work. So we are looking at how we cultivate our energies. Qigong is a very ancient practice. It is older than Tai Chi, and it is a cousin to acupressure and acupuncture. Qigong is deeply rooted in traditional Chinese medicine. The concept of Qigong uses no contact activation of our acupoints. We have acupoints that sit all throughout our body. We have Western science to support this Eastern concept. And essentially, in the state of imbalance, it is said that our acupoints are blocked. If we think of our acupoints like a gate, where if the gate is open, things can pass freely and things can balance and be in a state of ease, or medical term homeostasis. And if we close our gates, then things are blocked. They might get backed up, and we may not be in a state of balance, but rather in a state of imbalance or dis-ease. So trying to balance our bodies through opening our gates is what we talk about with this internal healing practice of Qigong. From a Western standpoint with Qigong, we are looking at balancing our autonomic nervous system and essentially coming into a parasympatho-dominant state. Generally speaking, in the West, we tend to be more in a sympathetic mode or sympathetic overdrive, so our autonomic nervous system is imbalanced. Whether it happens all at once and we get stuck in a heightened stress state, or we slowly build and accumulate more of a stress state over time, and we tend not to rebound back into a rest and relaxation response often or frequently or easily. So the practice of Qigong can become a moving meditation, and it can help us tap into a little more of our rest and digest parasympathetic state to give us that nervous system balance. With Qigong, we are looking at trying to develop a state of flow, some slow, easy movements that tend to look like we're moving in water, a slow connection with breath, with thought, and that leads us to intention. Like many things in our life, our intention really matters. If watching this, you start to think about your to-do list or what you were doing before you sat down to watch this, then that's where your energy goes. So when we come to a mindful meditation or moving meditation practice, we need to clearly distinguish what our intention is. And we do not want to or need to be super specific. It might be something as simple as to be present, to be open to the possibilities, to be here in this breath, to be here in the next breath. So our intention leads our energies. And it's said that the mind leads the Qi. So where the mind goes, the energy goes. So with our practice today, we will set our intention for being present, being in the breath and being in the moment, and considering how we can activate our self-healing abilities. So one thing that's helpful to know if you're new to the practice of Qigong is that as we move our hands and we align and try to activate and open certain pressure points, we're also moving our energies through these 3 storage containers, which are central to the practice of Qigong, and they are called dantians. So we have an upper dantian, which is located more in the head region. We have a middle dantian that is in the heart region, and we have a lower dantian that is in the lower belly region. And these are all 3-dimensional spaces. If we think of the dantians like Tupperware storage containers, We have a small storage container, a medium storage container, and a large storage container. So what goes in these storage containers are different types of qi. So qi can be broken down into shen, qi, and jing. And if we think about qi like we think about water, and water could be in a solid, in a liquid, and in a gaseous state. So our lightest energy is the shen energy, and it's much like the gaseous state of water. It's very light, very ethereal, and it lives up in this upper space. Our qi is a medium density, and it sits in our heart space, which is associated with the mind. So we have spirit, we have mind, and then the lower dantian is our physical energy, and it is referred to as jing. And it is the most dense, and it sits below the navel all the way around the body. So we don't have to know the specifics of which form of qi we're moving, but it's helpful to know that as our hands move, they're actually moving past the upper, the middle, and the lower dantian, and this is where we get body, mind, and spirit. So central to the practice of Qigong is almost like a warm-up and a cool-down. We learn to bring down the qi. So we will take a little time to do this now. If you want to stay seated, you'll sit, lifting the spine softly upright, and the feet will be hip-width distance apart. If we're coming to standing, I'll invite you to stand. You'll place the feet hip-width distance apart. And we're going to take a soft bend in the knees. And your palms, one of the things we want to do with the palms before I take a view that shows the whole body alignment, you want to take a look at an open palm, begin to make a soft fist, and notice where the third finger connects with the hand. This region is our pericardium 8 acupoint, and this is the main activator point in our hands that we'll be using. We'll use it for ourselves. We can use it with others. So as we come to standing, you'll want to maybe start with the feet closer together if the balance permits. You're going to step the left foot out to a hip-width distance place and start to settle with a soft sinking into the knees. The palms are going to face below the low belly, and they'll be very soft. And if you can imagine like you're holding maybe a water balloon in each hand, the hands or the fingers will just softly conform to the shape. And it's as if we're supporting energy, particularly in that low belly, that lower dantian, that physical space. So even though the knees are sinking, we want to keep the spine slightly lengthened without it being harsh. So to view from the side, there's a soft bend in the knees. It's as if a string is lifting the byway or the top of the head up tall, and we might require a slight lift of the tailbone to keep the ears over the shoulders, over the hips. The palm support underneath the low belly, very soft. And we want to always remember to keep a softness in the elbows, and we don't really want straight lines in this form. So to bring down the qi, imagine the arms are very soft and they're almost being floated up in the air as if you were moving through water. As the hands start to reach overhead, the palms will turn to face down. And if you could imagine having a helium balloon underneath your hands, you'll begin to just softly press the hands down, passing the upper, the middle, and the lower dantian. As the hands slowly drop below the navel, you'll turn the palms to face up, and we'll repeat this process 2 more times. So float the arms up, maybe the knees softly raise a small amount, and then find the helium balloon, begin to sink the hands down and allow the knees to softly sink as well. The gaze could stay straight forward for now. As the hands pass below the navel, the palms will turn to face up, and we'll bring the qi down 1 more time. Float the arms up, As they come overhead, the palms press down and we softly sink the hands and sink the knees. This time, as the hands pass the low belly, we'll let the hands drop down toward the hip crease or the groin, also known as the quad. The hands are going to trace the hip crease, somewhat using the shoulder blades or the upper shoulders to move the hands until the hands settle into the side pockets. So the palms will just softly face toward the upper outer leg. The elbows will have a soft bend to them. And we're actually lining up two acupoints here, a gallbladder point and the pericardium point in the hand. And then to close this part, we'll step the left foot in to meet the right. Females will place the right hand below the low belly. Males will place the left. The other hand will place on top. And you can tuck the top thumb underneath the bottom hand. And we can remain here with the eyes softly closing, maybe keeping the eyes like almond shapes, just slightly open if your balance is challenged. Or if you're comfortable standing with the eyes in a soft close, we can remain here for a few moments. And it's to allow our chi or our energy to settle. And it's much like that spinning top, slowly winding down and coming to stillness. So we don't make any harsh stops, but we allow the body to come to a restful state in its own way. And then from here, we'll release the hands, we'll release the feet. So the next piece we will practice is part of a form that is in the Dayan arts. We use the concept of bringing down the chi to start the form and to end the form. And we will only be doing a small segment of it, but it should be enough to allow you to connect with a mindful, moving meditation. To begin, place the feet touching. And if you're seated, you'll do everything we do standing, but from a seated posture with the feet and utilizing the sits bones. Hands will be down by the side. You'll find the hands in that side pocket posture where the elbows slightly round and hands face toward the upper inner thigh. You'll find your left foot and you'll step it up and over until you settle into a hip width distance posture. And you'll find a soft bend in the knees. We'll bring the chi down once. So float the arms up overhead. The knees may slightly rise. Find that helium balloon and slowly sink the hands down, passing the upper, the middle, and the lower dantian. As the hands slowly settle below the navel, we'll trace the hip crease. Hands will be in the outer pocket, and we will begin. We're going to swim the arms forward, circle them around the back. And much like you were going to splash water on your face, the hands will draw upward. They will trace around the ear. And then the hands will come in front of you as if you're holding a large sandwich. You will go to pass the sandwich away, not straightening the elbows. And then the palms will face down, and like you're raking your hands through sand, you'll draw them back. Elbows will point out to the side. And then that helium balloon, we press it down again to the low belly. And we'll repeat this. So we swim with the hands down low. We find the water to splash toward our face and let the hands come around the ears. We find our sandwich and we press it forward. The fingers land in sand and we draw them back. We find the helium balloon and we press it down. One more time, we swim. We find the water to splash around the ears. We find the helium balloon, or we find the sandwich rather, and we press away. We're projecting. We dredge the fingers back through sand. We are protecting. And then we compress the energy down. We are absorbing. Let the hands trace the hip crease. Bring them back to the side of the hips. Step the left foot in to meet the right. Females place the right hand down first. Males the left. Opposite hand comes on top. Tuck the top thumb under. You can softly close the eyes or just soften the eyes. We will repeat this one more time, but we will add in a piece with a simple weight shift in the feet. So release the hands, step the left foot out at hip width distance apart, and place the hands in the side pockets or at the side of the outer upper leg. So find the weight in your feet and place equal weight through the entire foot. So you'll probably need to shift your weight forward just slightly. So now the foot is equally weighted. If we gently shift the weight forward toward the toes but without lifting the heels, we start to charge the sympathetic part of our nervous system represented by the kidney 1 acupoint. And if we start to carefully shift our weight backwards more toward the heels without lifting the toes or losing our balance, we're stimulating the acupoint that relates to the parasympathetic nervous system. So as you shift back forward just enough to feel the weight shift but not lift the heels, we're charging up the fight or flight system. As we shift the weight backwards carefully toward the heels, you're charging up the rest and digest system. Bring your feet to center. Bring your chi down. Sinking the knees softly as the hands sink. You'll follow the line of the hip crease, hands to the outer pockets or outer thighs, and we'll begin softly shifting forward while we sweep the arms like we're swimming, gently and carefully shifting backwards, and then scooping up water, splashing the face, shifting forwards. Hands around the ears, shifting backwards. Find your sandwich, press it forward, shift forward. Find the fingers, pull them back, shift back. Come to center and press the energy down. 2 more times, swimming and shifting forward, and then back. Splashing water, shifting forward, and then back as we go around the ears, finding the sandwich to press forward, shift forward, pulling the fingers back, shifting back, finding center and balance and compressing down. 1 final time. You'll bring the chi down. You'll follow the hip crease or the qua. Hands move to the outside of the hips. Step the left foot in to meet the right. Females, put the right hand down first, males left. Other hand on top, top thumb tucks under, and the eyes can soften or softly close as your balance permits. We're here just softly breathing, letting the chi settle. And if you like, you can bring the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth. You may choose to stay here for 1 to 2 minutes. And then you can release the hands, release the feet. Another moving meditation we can use with the practice of Tai Chi and Qigong becomes the Tai Chi or Tai Ji Walk, spelled slightly differently but meant and interpreted in the same way. So to break it down, it is a very slow-paced, slow-motion walk. But when we step back, instead of thinking of just walking slowly, and we think of what are we doing to promote self-healing, we come back to our acupoints. So standing in a comfortable Wu-Ji stance, meaning the empty state, not meaning nothingness, but meaning balance. So the feet are hip width apart, the knees have a soft sink, the top of the head or the byway is lifting up, the ears line up over the shoulders, line up over the hips with a softness. And the palms for right now can be placed below the low belly facing up. Find that your weight is equally situated in both feet, so not on the heels or on the toes, but more centered. And we'll start this slow Tai Chi mindful walk by shifting your weight to your left, peeling the heel of your right foot. And when you're ready, taking a small step forward, landing on the heel, then the entire foot, And pausing is you shift your weight to be balanced between both feet. You'll be in a small stride position. If you look down to the feet, your step does not need to be large. In fact, if you took the tip of your left toe and draw a line or take a ruler completely over to your right foot, it should bisect the arch or the middle of the foot. So you're only stepping about a half of a foot distance in front of you, not a large step. So sink the knees, lift up through the top of the head. Begin to shift your weight onto your right foot. Peel the heel of your left foot. And when you're ready, take a very slow, small step, landing the heel down, then the entire foot, and then shifting your weight until you're pausing with the weight equally distributed over the right and left foot. Take a look down. You only need about a half of a foot step forward. So you'll continue to slowly walk around your space without the pause, lifting the back heel, taking a soft, short step forward, landing on the heel to charge the parasympathetic nervous system, placing the entire foot down to balance the nervous system, lifting the back heel, coming onto the balls of the feet to charge the sympathetic nervous system, taking a small step forward, and here we repeat. We are charging one part of the nervous system, balancing, and then charging the other. So continue to walk forwards around the room. If you feel confident in your ability to reverse directions, you may do that at your own discretion, being very aware of your safety and your balance. What you choose to do with your hands could be continuing to keep them palms facing up below the belly. They may drop to the side, or you may decide to just let them slowly reach forward and backwards as you find your Tai Ji or Tai Chi meditative walk. When we come to talking about using our hands, whether it be for our self-care or for tapping into assisting others, what we tend to do in healthcare. At our roots in healthcare and in the medical practice, we're healers, hands-on healers. Sometimes with advancements in technology, we find ourselves, unfortunately, drifting away from the laying of hands on people while we spend more time on technology, which has its own energetic compromise. So let's come into the practice of activating our awareness of our energies in our hands. And again, if we make a soft fist and we look where the third finger, the middle finger, touches the palms, this is our pericardium 8 points. Let's softly begin to bring the hands as close together as we can without touching, keeping the fingers very soft and the wrists as straight as we can that's comfortable. We don't want to bend the wrist back too far or forward too far, because much like bending a garden hose that has water running through it will compromise the flow. So keeping the wrist soft, keeping the elbow soft, and finding an alignment of the palms coming as close together as we can get them without touching. And our gaze will imagine that we're connecting these 2 points between our hands. We may sense a vibration, we may sense heat or warmth, or we may sense something that's more like a magnetic field, almost like when the ends of magnets start to draw toward each other. And that's the sensation that we might be comfortable with, or I suppose if we say looking for, that might be a sensation that would be very pleasing to find. You may not find it for days, for weeks, for months, so don't become frustrated with this. One way it helps to think of energy is the heat that we give off through our hands and our feet, particularly during the winter months, which when we place gloves and socks on, we tend to retain more heat. So this is an energy where we can release and activate. So find your Wuji stance, let the knees be a comfortable bend or stay seated. Let the top of the head lift up, and then just softly bring the hands in front of you as close together as you can get them without touching. Start to imagine the connection between the centers of the palm, those pericardium 8 points. And keeping the fingers and the wrists soft, start to find your breath. We'll have the breath enter through the nose and exit through the nose for this practice. And as we breathe in, you want to imagine the low belly, the lower dantian, where the physical energy is. You want to imagine that area expanding on the inhale. And on the exhale, imagine that all of that energy in there is then being brought to release through your hands. So inhale into the lower belly, and on the exhale, imagine that charging all the way out through your palms. There are a number of different ways we can look at a push and a pull with this, but for now, just start to feel the connection of breathing in through the nose, filling the low belly, and on the exhale, energizing or enhancing the hands. So going back to intention. Our intention for ourself right now is to focus on the awareness of sensations between the hands. If we were to bring the chi down, our intention is just to allow a soft, steady movement to happen, where we're allowing energy to settle into the upper, the middle, and the lower storage containers or dantians. As a healthcare professional, our intention is not to do X, Y, or Z for our patients or our clients, but rather to help them find their intention. And then we can use the careful laying of hands, whether it's simply to make physical contact with someone, a hand on a shoulder or a particular acupoint, a handshake, but connecting with them in a way that we're not giving off our energy or absorbing their energy, but we are enhancing or supercharging their energies. So when their intention is set, we come along like jumper cables and just charge it a little. So that leads us back to the conversation of what is your intention? What is maybe your patient or your client's intention? And what we do is guide them, educate them, lead them down the path of making informed decisions about their health. But we need them to be aware, to be an active participant in what is going on. So then the use of our hands, the use of our minds, the use of our energies help them find their path in their journey. Hi, Dr. Melissa Kerr. I thank you for your time today. If you have any questions particularly about Qigong, feel free to reach out and message me. You can use the Be Well Therapies email. I am a student of the Dayan Arts, Dayan, And I do study under the direction of Sifu Grandmaster Shane Lear. He has his own organization, and he is an excellent resource who is available through multiple social media outlets, or you can message me and I can put you in touch with him if you have any specifics. I'm always learning. I have not mastered anything, just constantly learning and trying to absorb and surround myself with the best people possible. Thank you for your time and best wishes on your journey. Be well.